Good morning. Good morning. Let's start the current affairs of the day. Fine. To start with, let's start with the first news, that is on communication, especially section in science and technology connected to communication. End-to-end encryption. Recently, Apple announced it will be increasing the number of data points protected by end-to-end encryption on iCloud from 13 to 23 categories. The company claimed that with end-to-end encryption, user data will be protected even in case data is breached in the cloud. Because data protection is a very big issue right now, and this end-to-end encryption ensures protection to the informations of the customers. What is end-to-end encryption? End-to-end encryption is a communication process that encrypts data being shared between two devices. What? Encrypts data being shared between two devices. It stops third party from accessing data while it is being transported, including cloud service providers, internet service providers, and the hackers. No one will be able to access data being sent from one end to the other, from one person to the other. End-to-end encryption has long been employed when sending corporate documents, financial information, legal documents, and private discussions. Fine. You must be seeing that in say that this is end-to-end encryption. Okay, but still there is very few products have been left also. So this what they want to add those products into end-to-end encryption to provide more safety and security to the customers' information. Communication security is achieved through end-to-end encryption. It is used by a number of well-known instant messaging programs, including Signal, WhatsApp, iMessage, Google Messages, etc. Okay, they all use end-to-end encryption. Like you must have seen in WhatsApp, that is end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption is not only used to protect user data in instant messaging through password, saved data, and data on cloud storage are called protected with it. Significance: end-to-end encryption uses an algorithm to convert plain text into an unintelligible format. Exclusively, individuals having the encryption keys, which are only kept on endpoints and not with any other parties like service providers, can decode and read this format. Fine. This is the significance of end-to-end encryption. It can also be used to control users' authorization when accessing storage data, which seems to be what Apple intends to do. But the tech companies are using it. Why they are using it? Apple stated that the total amount of data breaches more than tripled between 2013 and 2021 in its blog post, citing data breach research title "The Rising Threat to Consumer Data on the Cloud." Means the data right now is in the cloud, and from that it is breached. The business disclosed that 1.1 billion personal records worth of data were compromised in 2021 alone. Okay. So, business disclosed that 1.1 billion personal records worth of data were compromised. It is attempting to counter this growing threat by introducing end-to-end encryption. Apple added that it thinks target of hacking attempts carried out by well-funded parties will benefit from the additional degree of security. Definitely, this additional degree of security will help customers to protect their personal data. Fine. And because that will be coming under the end-to-end encryption policy. Okay. The what does it mean for the users? Safety aspect: the protection of user data from unauthorized parties such as service providers, cloud storage providers, and business that handles encrypted data is ensured through end-to-end encryption. Even in the event of a data breach in the cloud storage, no one else has access to this data and it is still secure. Only those who know the device password, password, recovery contact, or recovery key can access the data. Only trusted devices, Apple stated on its support page that only trusted devices that use have signed into with their Apple ID can decode end-to-end encrypted data. None else can access it. That is, the any information shared between the Apple devices cannot be decoded because the device itself ensure end-to-end encryption, not even the service provider. Okay. The technology also make it more difficult for service provider to give authority with users data from their services. End-to-end encryption does not, however, safeguard metadata, which includes details such as the data a file was produced, the data a message was delivered, and the endpoint where data was shared. What are steps taken by government in other countries regarding end-to-end encryption? The Federal Bureau of Investigation of USA stated its disapproval of the idea of technology companies using end-to-end encryption more frequently in a statement. It stated it remains a strong advocate of encryption methods that offer lawful access by design, which would enable IT companies, means serve with a legal order to decode data. So, on government requirement. If there is a requirement, then okay. So it stated to remain a strong advocate, which FBI of USA, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, because government at times want to decode the data for security reason. If the data is end-to-end encrypted, then government authority, government agency may not be able to do this. Government agencies from all over the world have previously encountered stiff resistance when attempting to access encrypted data housed and held by internet corporations. United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia intended to put pressure on Facebook in 2009 to develop a backdoor into its encrypted messaging apps. According to a report by The Guardian, the intention was to provide government access to content of private communications. Australia implemented rules in 2018 requiring tech companies and service providers to develop tools enabling covert government enforcement access to message on social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp. The legislation was required to stop terrorists and other dangerous criminals from eluding the law. This is good, but from the national security point of view, this data need to be encrypted for government requirement on security ground. While encryptographers and security specialists contend that attempts by law enforcement to undermine encryption with backdoors are unwise and could jeopardize the security of the internet. The trend by tech company to use end-to-end encryption to secure more user data appears to be strengthening. Fine. So this is a new debate when a tech service company is interested to ensure that end-to-end encryption of all data in its devices. So which is good for the customers but may pose problem for the law enforcement agency and the government. Okay. Then the next is about a national issue called the PM Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. What? PM Okay. Minister of State for Travel Affairs, Smt. Renuka Singh, gave data about the scheme to Lok Sabha recently. Recently, government has modified the earlier scheme of special central assistance to travel sub-scheme with nomenclature Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. This is for the tribal development. Okay, development of the tribal people. Okay, development of tribal people. Okay, so it aims at mitigating gaps and providing basic infrastructure in villages with significant tribal population in convergence with funds available under different schemes in central scheduled tribe components. The PMAAGY, so Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana, will be implemented during 2021-22 to 25-26. Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana is being implemented by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So, it is the nodal agency or nodal ministry to implement this program. Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana will be implemented by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Fine. Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana is envisaged to cover 36,420 villages having at least 50% ST population and 500 STs across state, union territory with notified ST during the period. A sum of 20.38 lakh per village as gap fillings have been provisioned for approved activities including administrative expenses under this particular Yojana. Fine. States union and amount of 7,276 crore has been approved by the cabinet for the scheme in the next 5 years. The government of India has allocated this huge amount, more than 7,000 crore for implementing this scheme in the coming say 5 years. State union territory encourage for convergence of resources as central state scheduled tribe component fund and other financial resources available with them for saturation of infrastructure and services in the village identified under the Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana. Fine, because a holistic approach for tribal development has been launched under this new banner, the new program, and convergence of all ministries are to be ensured for proper implementation. Integrated socio-economic development, the main objective of this particular Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana scheme is to achieve integrated socio-economic development of selected villages through convergence approach. It includes the following components: preparing village development plan based on the needs, potential and aspirations. Three things: needs, potential and aspirations. Maximizing the coverage of individual family benefit scheme of the central state governments. Improving the infrastructure in vital sectors like health, education, connectivity and livelihood. Fine. Mitigating gaps. PM Adyadash Gram Yojana envisions to mitigate gaps in prominent 8 sectors development, which road connectivity, inter and inter-villages road and block roads, telecom connectivity, mobile internet both, school Anganwadi centers, health sub-centers, drinking water facility, drainage and solid waste management. All these aspects will be covered under the Adyadash Gram Yojana. Fine. This is a holistic approach for tribal development because Indian tribals after 75% independence need to develop a lot because their development parameters achievements are comparatively less in comparison to the mainstream development, and because such a huge number of tribals are residing in the country, the government want to do their development in a holistic manner. Fine. Okay, then the next is about the ISRO in doing to boost the use of NAVIC, okay, Indian version of the navigation satellite system, okay, the Indian version of the GPS of USA, to promote the use of navigation with the Indian constellation called satellite called NAVIC. So these satellites are broadly known as which type of satellites? They are known as the Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS. We have launched 7 satellites in this series. Already we have placed IRNS 1A, B, C 1 in this series. We have sent 7. One satellite became defunct, so we have added a placement of that. So we have totally we have launched 8, but 7 satellites are functional right now, and we are able to launch these services from our own country. And Prime Minister has given the name of this particular system as NAVIC, or Indian version of the American navigation satellite. Fine. Okay. To promote the use of navigation with the Indian constellation, the Indian version of GPS, the Indian Space Organization will introduce the L1 frequency in all its future satellites. Jitendra Singh, Union Minister of Space for Development of State for Development Space, said in Parliament recently. The next satellite, starting from the NVS-01 onward, will have an L1 band for civilian navigation use. The 7 satellite in the NAVIC constellation so far use 2 frequency for providing posting data, the L5 and the S band, and right now they want to add this L1 transponders, okay, which will make public available, this facility available to the public, this location of navigation facility available to the public. Till date, it is being used only by the government, but government plan to make it useful for the common people in the common platform. That is why, so in the next satellites launched in the series, so the L1 transponders will be used. The new satellite NSB NVS-01 onward, meant to replace these satellites, will also have L1 frequency. The L1 is the oldest and most established GPS signals, which even the less sophisticated civilian use device such as the smart watch are capable of receiving. Thus, with this band, the use of NAVIC in civilian use gadgets can be taken off. What is NAVIC? NAVIC is India's homegrown alternative to GPS of America. Developed by ISRO, the navigation satellite system was first approved in 2006 at a cost of $174 million, but became operational only by 2018. At present, it consists 8 satellites covering the whole of India and up to 150 kilometers from its boundaries. Fine, means not only India but its neighboring countries are also being covered under this constellation of NAVIC satellites in the series called IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellites. Okay, we have 3 major satellites. One is this INSAT, one is IRS, the other one is IRNSS. And this NAVIC system is operational through the IRNSS satellites. Fine. According to government, NAVIC is accurate as GPS. The performance of NAVIC system is par with the other positioning system like the GPS of America, and America has its GLONASS system, European Union has its Galileo system, China has its Baidu. Okay, So similarly, India has developed its own navigation satellite system. NAVIC is mainly being used in public vehicle tracking to provide emergency warning alerts to fishermen venturing into the deep sea and for tracking data related to natural disasters. That means only at present government is using the NAVIC system. So common people are not. Okay, the government using tech giants. So the government is also pursuing for to increase its use in smartphones. Fine. So the government urging tech giants to make smartphones compatible with the Navi had ordered the likes of Samsung, Xiaomi, and Apple, who fear elevated cost and disruptions as the move requires hardware change. According to the report, the government wanted the smartphone support of Navik as well as GPS by January 2023. So by which, so more and more acceptance of this Navik system will be there among the Indians, because more and more Indians will be able to access the Navik system through their smartphones. If they will be able to access to their smartphones, it will be quite easy for them. Fine. This can break the monopoly of the American GPS in providing the navigation facility in the country. Advantage of Navix: the government said that India should not rely on posting system run by other government which are at the risk of suspension of civilian in times of crisis. Also, Navix, since it's homegrown, will be more accurate than other system. With a fully operational constellation and ground station outside India, ISRO plans to set up ground stations in Japan and France to better triangulate the entire area under Navi coverage. The system is likely to become more accurate than GPS. The satellite placed directly over India also ensures better availability of signals in varied geographical regions compared to GPS, which India receives at an angle, making it difficult to access it dense forest or in the village. Apart from the US owned GPS, the other prominent navigation satellites are Galileo from European Union, Russian owned GLONASS, Chinese Baidu, and the QUIS operated by Japan is another regional navigation system covering Asia ocean region. And looking at its market potentiality, government want that its own navigation system should be utilized than taking the help of any other country's navigation system. Till date, we are using the navigation system link of other countries and paying a hefty sum to them for this. But if we'll be able to use our own system, it will be much safer and also cheaper for the Indians. So that is why government is right now emphasizing on promoting the use of India's own navigation system, that is called the NAVIC. And this NAVIC name was given by Prime Minister to the Indian navigation satellite system developed by ISRO. Fine. Moving forward, then the next is the New India Literacy Program. The information was given by the Minister of State for Education, Srimati Annapurna Devi, in written reply to Lok Sabha. Government has announced a centrally sponsored scheme known as New India Literacy Program for implementation during the 5 years from 2023 to 2026-27. The program aims to cover a target of 5 crore learners during the 5 years under foundational literacy and numeracy components. The New Literacy India Program scheme aims to impart not only foundational literacy and numeracy but also to cover other components which are necessary for a citizen of the 21st century What are the things such as what are the necessity of the citizen of the 21st century as held by the government through this particular policy. Okay, so it includes critical life skill including financial literacy, digital literacy, communication skill, healthcare and awareness, child care and education, family welfare, vocational skill development with a very view towards obtaining employment, basic education including preparatory, middle and second stage equivalency, and continuing education including engaging holistic adult education courses in art, science, technology, culture, sports and recreation, as well as other topics of interest or used to local learners such as more advanced material on critical life skills. So these are to be imparted through this new program that has to be launched and decided by the government for launching soon. Okay, by the government of India. Okay, funding pattern, the center and the state shares in the choice. Okay, will be 60-40 for all states other than northeastern region and Himalayan states where the sharing pattern will be 90-10. For Union Territory with legislature, the ratio will be 60-40 except for the Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir where the ratio will be 90-10, and for all of the Union Territory without legislature, the central share will be 100%. The fund flow is through the Prime Minister's PFMS. Okay, so that is what, so they want to promote it through this and state treasuries. Fine, various steps are being taken by the government for effective implementation of the program. Okay, because this is a very new dynamic program. Okay, so effective implementation of the program in the country and encouraging users to join the program including Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Effective identification, the first step is to identify the beneficiary and volunteer teachers. Survey of beneficiary and volunteers teachers are being conducted by the state, Union Territory using schools as the base. Fine. Quality training, the volunteers teachers are trained to carry out the learning modules in online mode. Various workshops are being conducted by the state and union territories. Quality content, a national level content is driven by CEL or National Center for Literacy at National Council for Educational Research and Training. The training and the teaching and learning material is available on Diksha portal developed by the NCERT. Okay, the sample assessment modules for this. Okay, the sample assessment module have also been made available on Diksha portal. Awareness generation and sensitization, all state union territories have been sensitized along with a roadmap for implementation of the program for conducting among others. Okay, so this is a new program to ensure 5 crore functional literacy among the Indians. Environment building activity by the involvement and use of social media platforms including the print, electronic and folk media and interpersonal media to reach access the country including all rural areas and to create an atmosphere so as to motivate and spur potential literacy volunteers to learners and also to adopt multiple strategy keeping in view the local conditions which active participation of community leaders. PRI functionaries, Mahila Mandala, civil society organization and educational institutions. Challenges. The major challenge faced by the government while implementing the new India literacy program presently the opening and mapping of all bank accounts of single nodal agencies and implementing agencies in all states with public financial management system. This is a prerequisite for release of funds as per the revised procedure guidelines of Ministry of Finance. The challenge exists because this is the last year of the implementation. That is why it will create a lot of problem because within a very short time span, arranging the financial position and the bank linkage of all and transferring funds to them to implement will be a Herculean task. Fine. The next is about the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Okay. So micro unit development refinancing agency Mudra and the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana was launched by the central government. Okay. So what is this program? So as per the uploaded data by the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana by member lending institutions on Mudra portal as of 25th November 2022, more than 37.76 crore loans amounting to over 20.43 lakh crore have been disbursed since inception of the scheme in April 2015. Because this Mudra scheme was launched in 2015 and within the span of 7 years, So the Union government launched this Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana in April 2015 to provide loan up to 10 lakhs to non-farm small micro enterprises and non-corporates. So ensure this what this will be this loan facility for what non-farm small and micro enterprises and non-corporate. Fine. This is the speciality of this particular funding program. This is for the non-farm activities. Fine. All banks, including public sector banks, private sector banks, RRBs, state cooperative banks, urban cooperative banks, foreign banks, non-bank financial companies, microfinance institutions are required to lend to non-farm sector income generating activity the value of less than 10 lakhs under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, PMMY, popularly known as the Mudra Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana has three sub-components or sub-schemes. So we will discuss that in the next slide. Fine. So institutional mechanism, the government has established a new institution called the Mudra Microunits Growth and Finance Agency to carry out the scheme development and financing activity as well as serve as a regulator for the microfinance sector in general. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana's mission is to provide grant to small business that are not corporations, loan offering under the Mudra. Okay. So it has, as I told, there are three different sub schemes. Shishu covering loans of 50,000, given to no collateral at 1% rate of interest. Okay. Interest month repayable over a period of 5 years. Kishore loan cover up to 50,000 to 5 lakhs, and Tarun loan cover from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. So the minimum amount sir ଗୋଟେ ଚାଲିଛି ସାର୍ଙ୍କୁ ପେସେଣ୍ଟ ବି ଦେଉଛି। क्लास चलछि
सरिन तो सर हम खाई पड़े आछे सर आपन कोन क्लास क्लास हो नै जो कैंसिल करछि गोटे एस्क्राउ सर फोन उठुना दी ताको देबा पय ऑनलाइन क्लास ऑनलाइन टा हो सर आपन
Okay. So the Sishu covering loan 50,000, Kishore cover loan 50,000 to 5 lakhs, and Tarun cover loan beyond so 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. So this is the scheme. Okay. Okay. So this is the three sub schemes under the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Enterprises in the smaller segment must receive at least 60% of the funding. Mudra Bank partner intermediaries must strive to adhere to the following general framework. First-time entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, and women entrepreneurs will be welcome with special schemes being planned for them. Cash flow based lending would be prioritized over security based lending. Collateral securities, among other things, must be avoided. Repayment commitments shall be flexible and framed in light of the entrepreneur's company cash flow. So Mudra Yojana want to promote entrepreneurship among the vulnerable section. So a small amount starting from 50,000 to 10 lakhs have been provided by the government of the scheme, and the Micro Units Development Refinancing Agency Mudra Bank is a refinancing institution of CDB and renamed as Mudra CDB Bank. The Mudra Bank is primarily responsible for developing policy guidelines for the micro small enterprise financing industry, as well as registering and regulating the MFI organizations. The microfinance organizations are accredited and rated, establishing responsible lending policy to avoid indebtedness and to ensure proper client security principle and recovery methods. Creating a standardized set of covenants for last mile lending to micro and small business. Okay, so these are the facility being extended under the Mudra Yojana, and this will definitely has resulted in a number of persons joining the scheme and getting benefit. Promoting appropriate technological strategy for the final miles, creating and implementing a credit guarantee system to provide loan guarantee to micro enterprises, creating a good architecture of last mile credit delivery to micro business under the scheme of Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Mudra Bank operates through regional level financing institutions who in turn connect with last mile lending like microfinance institutions, small banks, primary credit cooperative societies, self-help groups, NBFC and other such institutions. In lending, Mudra gives priority to enterprises set up by the underprivileged sections of the society, particularly those from the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe groups, first generation entrepreneurs and existing small business. Okay. Okay, then coming to the answer writing, critical examine the aims and objective of the SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. That importance does it holds for India. Created in 2001, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a Europe and Asia, European political, economic and military organizations aiming to maintain peace, security and stability in the region. India became a permanent member of this group in 2017 along with Pakistan. Both India and Pakistan joined, so taking the membership to 9, and recently Iran joined, taking the membership to 10. SCO aims to strengthen relations among member states, but India, Pakistan, Russia, China relations create a complex matrix of diverging and conflicting interests. To illustrate, China has shown little respect to an international rule-based order, checkbook or wolf warrior diplomacy, human rights violations, etc. raise fundamental questions on Chinese commitment to aims and objectives of SCO. Moreover, under the guise of economic cooperation, China has pushed its Belt and Road Initiative project through SCO. Fine. That is why it is also a big stumbling block of which is affecting its progress. Likewise, SCO seek to safeguard regional peace, security and stability, but China in Taiwan, Hong Kong and Ladakh, Russia in Ukraine and Pakistan in Jammu and Kashmir are accused of destabilizing the regional peace, security and stability. Important for SCO for India. Why that SCO is that so important for India? SCO is part of India's stated policy of pursuing multi-alignment and strategic autonomy. The challenges of terrorism, radicalism and instability pose a grave threat to Indian sovereignty and integrity. SCO's counter-terrorism body, the Regional Anti-Terror Structure, RATS, may prove useful for India in these countries because SCO has created this RATS, Regional Anti-Terror Structure. Okay. SCO allow India to deepen its strategic reach in Central Asia. India already has substantial power potential in Central Asia. India's membership of SCO can boost energy security by providing access to mineral and energy resources of the Central Asian countries. India's presence in the SCO will help in India's aim to link itself to the larger Eurasian region and to Europe via this group. SCO membership will also help India, which is currently bucks in the South Asian region, to become a major pan-Asian player from Asia to Pacific, from Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. SCO can play Central Asia especially, so Central Asia and then to Pacific. SCO can play a vital role in deepening people-to-people engagement through cooperation in the field of education, medicine and tourism. Fine. These sectors have been identified by SCO for promotion. Fine. This is the potential of SCO and India's joining of SCO and India's association with SCO will be definitely. India's relation with country in the region have enormous potential for enhancing ties in areas such as economy, security, policy, investment, trade, connectivity, energy and capacity building. However, India's benefit from the SCO will be limited due to the role of China and Pakistan in the organization. Positive outcomes will depend on how Indian diplomacy deals with its rivals. Fine. Then coming to the MCQs of the day. End-to-end encryption does not support meta devices. Fine. So then meta data is data about the data of documentation about the information which is required by the users. So both 1 and 2 are correct in this answer. With reference to the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, consider the following statement. It is a flagship scheme, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, launched in 2021. No, it was launched in 2015, not 2021. Any Indian citizen who has a business plan for non-farm sector income generating activities such as manufacturing, processing, trading, service sector can get the benefit. So 2 is right, 1 is wrong. So answer will be B for this. Then coming to question number 3. The scheme is being implemented through New India literacy programs implemented through voluntarism through the offline modes. So offline it is not in the offline mode, it is in the online mode. It is a centrally sponsored scheme, right? The scheme will cover non-literates in the age group of 15 years and above in the state. So 2 and 3 are correct. So answer will be B. With reference to NAVIC and GPS, consider the following statement. The Indian Regional Navigation Satellite is the operational name of NAVIC. Fine, that's right. Okay, it is the operational name of NAVIC. GPS only has geosynchronous satellite, but the NAVIC has both. geostationary and geosynchronous satellites. So that advantages we have benefits, better benefits over the GPS. GPS is accurate up to 5 to 10 meters on land against 20-30 meters on earth. This is wrong. GPS is more accurate. So 1 and 2 are correct. So answer will be C. With reference to India, the term Halif, Ho and Kui, they are the tribal groups. Okay, tribal languages spoken by different tribal groups, tribal dialects, you can say tribal languages. These are all tribal languages. With reference to PM Adi Adarsh Gram Yojana, consider the following. The Yojana support the efforts of state government to promote the welfare of tribal people by providing special central assistance as an addition to state tribal supplants. It attempts to address funding gaps and provide essential infrastructure in community with more than 50% tribal population by combining funds from other central scheduled tribe component programs. Okay, so this is question 6, only 1 is right, so 2 is not correct, so answer will be only A, 1 is the right answer. And with reference to PMC for the schools, okay, so schools for Rising India, so schools for Rising India, as PMC is Pradhan Mantri School for Rising India scheme. The following statement: the scheme aims to upgrade and develop all government schools into the country. No, all, not all the schools. Some selected schools will be developed in the first phase. It includes schools will so Kutch, all, so central schools, Navodaya Vidyalayas will be upgraded to this. Okay, the include schools will show Kutch, all component of the National Education Policy 2020. That's right. Ministry of Education Nodal Agency, 2 and 3 are right. So option will be 2 and 3. B the right answer to question number 7. Then coming to question number 8. What is the following statement about National Environment Awareness Campaigning? The National Environment Awareness Campaign was established in 1986 with the intention of raising national environmental awareness. It is a multimedia campaign that uses traditional and non-traditional communication channel to spread environmental message. Okay, so question number 8, so both are right. So answer will be C, both 1 and 2 are right. So for question number 8. Then coming to question number 9. The following statement: Environment Education Awareness and Training Scheme is a central scheme launched during the 6th 5-year plan in 1983-84. The Ministry of Education is the nodal agency of the scheme. Okay, so only 1 is correct because this is not the education, because it is the environment and forest. It is the nodal ministry, not the Ministry of Education. The reference to Central Water Commission from the following statement: it works as a attached to the Ministry of Jal Shakti. So right. Flood control and management is the responsibility of the Central Water Commission. It handles issues related to surface water only. Okay, so all the 3 are correct. So answer will be D, 1, 2, 3 are correct. This way we complete today's discussion. So keep watching every day to update yourself on the developments. So to enrich yourself. Thank you.